Hey everyone, it's Monday morning, April 7th, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella. Since it's Monday, that means it's time to dive into the big market movers for the week ahead. It's going to be a busy one, so let's get straight to it. Before we begin, a quick note. Today's episode is sponsored by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. For tailored investment solutions and top-quality mutual funds, visit amf-capital.de. So, markets are coming into this week on edge after another rough stretch. Tariff-driven volatility has been shaking things up, and starting Friday, the first wave of U.S. tariffs officially took effect. And get this, more are already lined up for April 9th. So yeah, it's safe to say that everyone's watching closely to see how global markets react, how political tensions evolve, and what early corporate earnings might be telling us. Now let's talk about what kicked this off. Last week we saw a pretty brutal sell-off. The S&P 500 dropped more than 10%, its worst week since way back in 2020. And with China firing back at Trump's sweeping 10% import taxes, it's looking more and more like we're in for a prolonged trade war. The European Union? They're also stepping into the ring, saying they're prepared to defend their interests if things escalate. And, well, Trump hasn't exactly helped calm things down. Over the weekend, he stayed active on Truth Social, defending his strategy and calling out Beijing, saying China is panicking. He also claimed foreign investors are loving the U.S. right now and that, in his words, his policies will never change. That's certainly not easing investor nerves. Meanwhile, we've got earnings season officially kicking off on Friday. Some big names in banking, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Wells Fargo, are all on deck. Earlier in the week, retailers and airlines are in the spotlight with Levi Strauss, Walgreens, and Delta Airlines reporting. But let's be real. Unless we get some major positive surprises, it might not be enough to shift the mood if the trade drama keeps heating up. And then on Thursday, we've got the March CPI report coming out. That's going to be a big one. With tariffs beginning to seep into the economy, investors are anxious to see if inflation is already reacting. Barclays expects this report to be pretty tame, but they're warning that things could heat up later in the year thanks to those April tariffs. Depending on the results, this data could shape the Fed's next steps on interest rates. A softer print might keep the door open for a May rate cut, but rising inflation could complicate things real fast. And let's not forget about the TikTok drama. Trump has extended the deadline for ByteDance to sell its U.S. operations by 75 days. The clock's now ticking into mid-June. Companies like Amazon, Oracle, and Apploven have all thrown their names in the ring to buy the app, but Trump is tying this deal directly to trade negotiations with China. So yeah, more potential for market-moving headlines there too. Bottom line, this week is packed. Between tariffs, inflation, earnings, and TikTok, investors are going to need to stay sharp. We're heading into a stretch where a single headline could shift the entire market tone again. So stay tuned, stay focused, and I'll catch you back here tomorrow morning for more. Cheerio!